Riven has got me so far in life, you guys have no idea. She was the champion that I used to get Diamond 1 for my first time in my life back in the days. And back in the days, there was no master tier, so Diamond 1 was the highest that you could go. And even till this day, I'm still playing Riven and she's still one of the champions that I use to maintain my rank. When I picked her up back in the day, that's when I never left her alone. No matter how bad she was or how good she used to be, I have never quit this champion. So in today's video, I will tell you guys everything that I have learned from playing her all of those seasons. So sit back and enjoy the video. So the first thing I want to mention before getting into anything else is that Riven is always going to be an average champion in every season possible. Like I said before, I have never been in a season where she was not able to carry games. The reason for that being is because Riven is just a high skill reward champion, which if you're doing well, you will always snowball. However, if you're not doing well, you will always feed. However, back in the day, there used to be an item called the Brutalizer, and like every person would build this item because it was just way too overpowered. And eventually, they took out that item and nobody knew how to play Riven anymore. At that time, Riven's win rate has gone from 50% to 46%, which is really bad. It's almost one of the lowest win ratios of the game. So people thought that she would never make it back into the game because her core item was being removed. But you know what? The actual reason that people actually had a low win ratio was not because of the item being removed. It was because of people not adjusting their playstyle. And that was like the only situation where Riven had the lowest win ratio of the game, but that had a reason. In all of the other seasons, she's always been okay and she's always been in a good spot. So if you are looking into a champion and you don't want to be afraid of the champion becoming useless over the course of seasons, then Riven might be a champion that you could play. Now, something that I learned over the course of playing Riven of all of those years, I've got so good at doing the combos and doing the animation cancelling, I barely ever fail my combos. If I see somebody running and I'm chasing after him, I'm not really thinking about which combo I'm going to use. It will just be a natural feeling like, what am I going to use now? And how can I approach this situation? And this is just something that I learned by playing her over and over again. So if you're playing Riven and you're new to this champion and you would like to learn her, just keep spamming games over and over and you will learn eventually. It needs to become a natural feeling. You need to know exactly which combo you're going to use in every situation. The third thing that I learned is that Riven is not always the champion that if it falls behind, you will be useless. If people tell you that Riven is useless after 5 deaths, then they have no idea about the champion. Even if Riven falls behind in lane, you can still play safe and get your items, and around mid game you could do like a nice little flash play where you could engage for the team so they can follow up, or you can still protect your ADC or APC when they have a lot of kills. Riven doesn't need many items to do a lot of damage, so being the guy to protect your ADC or APC is really good. Now, another thing that I learned from spamming Riven over and over again is that my macro play of League has improved. Since I can play her mindlessly without thinking what I should do, I can fully focus myself on what I have to do. Since I don't need to think about the champion, how I need to control it, I can just think of what I can do next. I'm always thinking ahead. What am I going to do next? Am I gonna roam or will I stay in my lane to farm? Will I pressure or will I do something else? Those are things that you can't really do when you need to learn the champion. And that's also the reason why there's so many people one-tricking a champion and they improve really fast at the game. It's just because they can play their champion mindlessly, automatically, without thinking and focus themselves on the macro play. So I recommend this to a lot of people that want to climb really fast in League. If you want to improve, just play one champion over and over again so you can focus yourself on the macro play of the game instead of learning the champion itself. Now, another thing I want to talk about is how hard is it to learn Riven from 1 to 10? This is a question I get asked a lot because a lot of people want to learn Riven and they want to know a lot of stuff before getting into this champion. Now I'd say that learning Riven from 1 to 10 is probably 10 out of 10 because from my experience it took me over 1,000 games to get used to her combos, animation cancelling and everything else. She's not the type of champion you can just get into a ranked game with and do well. And it's not just only her combos and animation cancelling, but it's also how you need to approach every situation with Riven. You cannot just go in everywhere and expect to kill that person. She's got a lot of matchups which doesn't work at all. She has a lot of limits that you need to get used to, and if you don't know those, you would just start feeding. The hardest thing for me to learn was the matchups. Like there's just so many champions out there and League of Legends is always changing champions as well as the items in every single patch. So you're kind of being forced to learn the matchups over and over again in each patch. Even to this day, I'm still learning the matchups. Even now, because season 9, everything is changing again. So now another thing that I want to talk about is I have played so many Riven games and I have never been in a team where Riven doesn't work. Riven is the type of champion that no matter which team comp you have, she always works. If your team doesn't have a tank, you can build Riven as a tank. If your team doesn't have an engagement, you can be the guy to engage for the team. Are you missing out on a guy with damage? Riven is the guy to deal damage for you. You can build Riven however you want, she will always work. You could build her full AD and be like a massive damage dealer, or you could go for like a full tank build and be the front line of the team. It all depends on you because she can be used in every way possible. Now something else I want to talk about is Riven is just a really good champion if you like roaming. What I often do when I play my games is I rush Warhammer and then I immediately buy boots so I can roam around. Since she is so mobile and has a lot of stuns and damage, she's really good for roaming. So when you see like a Yasuo in the mid lane, it's really easy for Riven to just gank Yasuo and then kill him right away. You don't necessarily always need to be the superhero in lane, but you can also just roam around and help your teammate instead. You can also apply this when you're losing your lane. If you're losing your lane and you got nothing to do besides farming, if you get the opportunity, try to roam somewhere else. Try to TP to bot lane or gank mid lane. Maybe your lane is lost, but if you could help your teammate win his lane, he can carry the game for you. There's also been so many games where my teammates are winning so hard without me doing anything. I purposely don't do anything in my lane, I just farm until the game is over. You can win games just by doing nothing. If your team is standing 10 kills, you don't need to hard carry your lane. It would be nice if you can hard carry your lane when your team is winning, but sometimes you can just let yourself be carried by your team. Like the worst case scenario is when your team is winning and then you start feeding because you're trying to win your lane. So once again, remember this, if your team is winning, just let yourself be carried. Or join the team and roam around and help them instead. Like the reason I'm saying all of this is because so many people are playing Riven and they're trying to be the superhero of the game and they think that all that matters is them playing Riven and they need to carry hard, but that's not always what it needs to be. Anyway, the last thing I want to talk about in this video is that Riven is a champion that works in all stages of the game. She is an amazing pick for snowballing in the early game. Once she reaches level 6, you can dominate your lane so hard. If the jungler pays like a little bit of attention to you, you have so much snowball potential. Not to mention the mid game where she gets her items and she can completely one-shot people or be the guy to engage for the team and knock up like 4 or 5 people with a flash. Riven is a champion that's being built mostly AD in the early game as well as AD in the mid game, and the more you get into the late game, the more tanky she will be, and that's where she will also shine. Since she's so tanky and has like a ton of AD, she's the perfect champion for you to have in a team fight. There's so many opportunities that Riven can take to carry a team fight, and the best out of all is that she can be used both as a split pusher as well as a team fighter. Anyway, that's it for the video. There's something else I want to talk about. Guys, we've got to 1500 subs. Seriously, thank you so much for subbing, all of you. I never really uploaded that much to my YouTube channel, but really I'm so thankful for you guys for being there for me. Whenever I upload a video, there's always people coming to my video in the first few minutes to drop down a like and a comment. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for the support and everything. I know I've been gone for 9 months, but I decided to get back into YouTube and upload videos for you guys. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe and like. Do you have some questions? You can message me privately on Discord or you can put down a comment below the video. So that's it. Have a good evening. See ya guys.